So you want to learn how Nettspend blew up and you want to replicate it. Some of it was luck, but some of it wasn't, so I'm going to talk about that right now. So here's Nettspend. Obviously, Nettspend originally came up off the Drink 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 trailer, which got millions and millions of views on Twitter and went super viral. This snippet was everywhere. It was all over a bunch of different Instagram pages, HBK Underground, Hyperpop Daily, whatever was relevant at the time, you name it. And so the question that everyone has is, how did this happen? How did Nettspend get this video to go up so much? Basically, all it was he bought a paid promo and it went absolutely viral. And I've seen some people basically just chalk it up to luck and throw it away. But it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I'm going to explain it right now. So don't get me wrong. There was plenty of luck involved in this specific video going up when it did, but there's also a lot of other circumstances that were happening around this exact time that not only helped Nettspend's career, but also made this video more likely to get made in the first place and blow up. So obviously Nettspend's goal with all of this was basically just to get his music in the eyes of as many people as possible at one time. Paying random pages on Twitter usually doesn't do that. So if you don't want to rely on just like the hope that your stuff is going to go up, you can check out my link in the description where I've made a bunch of content explaining exactly how to get your music out there and to build a creative image that can put you in the position to blow up in the first place. So first of all, a lot of people sort of ignore the fact that Nettspend did have a career before the Drink 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 snippet. For example, he was at the time quite heavily associated with Nova Gang. He was performing at their shows and he was tapped in with a lot of the members of the collective. That was a very popular hyperpop collective around 2020 and 2021, and so he was associated with them in 2022 and 2023. That gave him a lot of connections into the underground scene in New York, whether that be Xavier So Based, DJ Renaissy, or any of the other people that he was collaborating with and working with at the time. Obviously, this led him to do that infamous show with Xavier So Based doing his dance during Shine in Peace. So all of this sort of gives you a snapshot into what was going on when the Drink 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 trailer actually did blow up. But obviously that still leaves the question, why did this blow up like it did? And I'll tell you why. This wasn't the first snippet of its kind. It wasn't the first Triller style snippet. It wasn't even the first white boy that looked like a little kid rapping. We had that with Maddox and we had that with Lil Shine. And obviously they were quite successful in their own right. But the reason that Nettspend went up is because it was still doing some things that were different and unique, and it had that meme factor that really brought it to the attention of social media algorithms and people's eyeballs. So you had a couple factors here. You have the fact that Nettspend did have a hand in popularizing what is essentially the modern Triller snippet. Every artist is basically doing snippets of this kind now, and a lot of them were doing it before Nettspend. But the fact that Nettspend's video like this just blew up so crazy, it's made the genre of Triller snippets just super oversaturated. Everyone is doing them. A bunch of rappers basically saw Nettspend do it this way and were like, oh, I don't need fancy music videos. I can just dance around in my room and I'll get millions of views and a bunch of money. So, okay, super easy. And then they ended up following suit and making Trillers, and now that whole genre of content creation is just super oversaturated. It wasn't as oversaturated when Nettspend did it, which means that there was a little more room to grow and a little more room for certain people to blow up like crazy off of it. So that's the first step. The second step is the meme factor of the video. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Nettspend basically looks like a 12-year-old in this video. He's flexing a bunch of money that isn't his. He's rapping about stuff he probably doesn't do. And so these two factors combined, considering that this was a format of content that wasn't super oversaturated at the time, right? This allowed it to blow up. But it doesn't stop there, because this combination of things creates other effects. What do people see Nettspend as when they watch this video? I mean, some people probably saw him as a clown, but a lot of other people probably saw that there was authenticity to the video. Nettspend was able to instantly resonate with underground fans because of the fact that he looked like an underground rapper. He didn't look like some dude that was industry planted and had a bunch of label connections behind him. No, like, this guy was pretty clearly just some random kid that got on BandLab and decided to make a couple songs, and they sounded pretty good. And that was mostly caused by the Triller itself. The other factor that this combination created was the actual virality of the snippet, and that was more caused by the meme factor of it. There were tons of memes that derivated from this that were exploited by pages like Hyperpop Daily. I mean, I remember seeing memes about Nettspend doing the Spider-Man pose and whatever, all that stuff. There were just plenty of screenshots and really funny moments just in this snippet. And what made it look so good is it didn't look forced. Like, it looked like this kid was just doing what he normally does when he makes a snippet, and it looked absolutely ridiculous, and people started to make fun of it, and it went super viral. So those are the factors that actually went into this video and made it blow up. Yes, a lot of it was algorithmic RNG. And no, you can't just replicate it by making a Triller of your own and posting it. It's not going to happen because, like I said, that genre has been oversaturated. But there is a copy and paste solution to getting your music in front of people, and I can teach you how to do that if you just click the link in my description. I have a bunch of videos and content that go over how to actually get your music out there in the first place. And the reason that that's important is because what did Nettspend do with this? He took that attention and he didn't necessarily use it to just make more trillers and keep making the same type of music. No, he started to go in a different direction creatively. He now has a completely different persona, obviously, and he makes music that sounds quite different from the music that he used to make. So what Nettspend did was he took all of this, right? He took all the stuff here and he combined it with an image, right? He took the initial virality, the initial attention, and he combined it with an image of his own. And also, I can show you how to create an image of your own and how to sort of develop yourself creatively as an artist when it comes to things like content creation, building a unique sound, creating a unique image. Yeah, I can show you how to do all of that with a Launchpad link in my description. But he basically took the virality and then kicked off of it with an image, with a persona, and everything else. I've seen plenty of videos on this subject that basically just skip over the initial blow up and talk about, well, now Nettspend just acts super mysterious. He's trying to keep his fans engaged in this way and that way, and that's all very important to talk about. But the problem with just talking about that is it ignores what got him there in the first place. It ignores what gave him the creative space to actually be mysterious and do whatever he wanted with his music. Because before all of that was this kid making snippets in his bathroom, and it's important to analyze that and see how it went as crazy as it did and blew up as large as it did. Obviously, some of this is an oversimplification of how Nettspend has grown as an artist. I have a much longer video that goes over this topic, again, on my Launchpad with the link in the description, so you guys can check that out if you want. But yeah, for the most part, that's it, and that is how Nettspend blew up. If you enjoyed this video, do make sure to check out my channel, like and subscribe, please. Also, check out that Launchpad link in the description if you want more content just like this. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys.